Yes, yes, people. Welcome to another edition of All Things WWE on Finished Article. Before I get into anything, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to hand it over to my boy, my tag team partner on this show, my boy Shazad.
What's happening, peeps? Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's enjoying the lovely weekend. It certainly is a lovely day. And you know what, guys? We're in for a firecracker this evening because Shaz is off on his another legendary rant. And you know what? I don't blame him because from what I've just seen now, it's like Groundhog Day. I mean, I'm sure we've seen the storyline like 5-6 times. I mean, come on, man. I woke up this morning when Shaz told me about the story. I'm like, it's what's the date? It's the 25th of April. I'm sure we've been down this road before, fast lane. But you know what?
You're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong at all.
Before I hand it over to Shaz, I'm just caught up on it. I mean, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. You want to bring up the first tagline? I think we just let me dig into that before I hand it over to you. Yes,
Daniel Bryan does it again, peeps. What did I say? Daniel Bryan's going to do it again. What did I say? We're not done with the storyline of Daniel Bryan trying to get the title off Roman Reigns. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I'm gonna pose one question to you, and I'm gonna let you run. The tagline should be, how has he done it again? Now over to you, bro. Tell us.
So I don't even know how he's interjected himself into this storyline, because it started with Cesaro stepping to Roman Reigns and then challenging Roman Reigns to a title match or even just a non-title match. And then for some apparent reason, Daniel Bryan decided he wanted to interject himself into the storyline, which I find stupid. Again, Daniel Bryan shouldn't be in this storyline between Cesaro and Roman Reigns. But it's happened. It's happened again. For some reason, the writers, the producers, whoever has done this, if you watch the end of SmackDown, you'll know what I'm talking about. Roman Reigns came out, said he doesn't answer anybody's challenge. He issues the challenges. And what looked like Roman Reigns was going to challenge Cesaro ended up in Roman Reigns challenging Daniel Bryan again to another Universal title match. The title match is going to be next week on SmackDown. I think it's the 30th, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 30th of April, Friday Night Smackdown, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, yet again for the Universal Championship. But there is a stipulation that if Daniel Bryan loses, he's not allowed to be seen on SmackDown ever again, which is good. Don't get me wrong. The sooner Daniel Bryan leaves the title picture, the better.
We should add, this doesn't mean that Daniel Bryan's retiring. This is basically creative saying, you know what, we actually
we've had enough of this storyline.
So we need to
it's just creative saying that, you know, this is the end of the storyline, basically. That if Daniel Bryan loses, he's not going to get another title shot on SmackDown. I will make that clear, because what I see happening is Daniel Bryan getting taken off SmackDown. He's going to appear on Monday Night Raw, and he's going to get a title shot against Bobby Lashley, and he's just going to get another title shot, another title shot, another title shot. He's going to be shoved down your throat on Monday Night Raw instead of Friday Night Smackdown, which, you know, this is WWE. I don't expect anything different. But I'm going to move on to another part of this, is this down at the bottom. Cesaro has been pushed down to the mid card again, when he should be getting that title shot, not Daniel Bryan. To me, this is Daniel Bryan burying other talent. This is Daniel Bryan taking title opportunities away from other talent. Like, Daniel Bryan shouldn't have even been in the WrestleMania title picture. He shouldn't have been in Roman Reigns versus Edge match at WrestleMania, but he chucked himself in. Yes, Daniel Bryan is over with the crowd, but it doesn't mean he should be getting title shot after title shot, and it doesn't mean he should be getting these main matches because it's ridiculous.
No, I agree. Can I jump in on one thing? I want to add in. I want to get your take on this since we're discussing it. So you refer to Daniel Bryan as interjecting himself into the matches. But what you gotta realize, my friend, and this is where I need you to clarify a few points, is it's the guys behind Daniel Bryan that are doing it. So whoever's writing the storyline, like Jason Jordan's or
Yeah,
your
but
guy,
that's you are right into it on up to a certain extent, but the talent do have a say in their storylines.
okay, fair enough.
Now, for perfect example, John Cena. Everyone said he was always in the main event, and he was always forced down people's throats, and he was always getting title shot after title shot after title shot, title reign after title
Yeah,
reign.
yeah,
And that's what I see happening here with Daniel Bryan. Now, there's two ways it could be happening. You're right, yes. The bookers, the producers, the writers, whoever are booking Daniel Bryan heavily because he's really over with the crowd. If you notice, there's a lot of yes chants. Now, the only problem I have with that is SmackDown and Raw are still at the Thunderdome, so there's not an actual live crowd.
yeah, correct.
So the chants that are at these events aren't even real. These are WWE putting these chants in.
Oh, really?
They're manipulating the fans into believing that Daniel Bryan is actually over when these chants aren't even actual from the fans. That's the
Interesting.
way I see it. Now, the other part of this, yes, Cesaro. I mentioned Cesaro before in another video as being very, very underutilized in WWE. He is one of the best performers WWE have. And to see him being used this way, it's mind blowing. In any other company, Cesaro will be main eventing. He will be getting title opportunities. He'll be having title reigns. But in WWE, where is he? He's in mid card facing Seth Rollins in another stupid storyline. I don't even understand where they're going with it. I don't understand what they're doing with Cesaro right now. If I was
No,
Cesaro, I'd cut my
no,
ties with
no,
WWE and go somewhere else where you're actually valued as a wrestler.
I'm going to add one thing. So when Cesaro came out the night after WrestleMania and challenged Roman Reigns or wanted to bring
I
a
was
challenge,
buzzing, bro. I was buzzing to see
absolutely,
Cesaro challenging Reigns.
I thought that was one of the best moments I'd seen. Okay, when I say best moments, because we hadn't seen anything else, and we didn't what we expected, like your boys from NXT to jump up. That really happened. So when Cesaro came up with a fantastic, Reigns walked away a typical storyline, but then it just died from there. It just literally
Yeah,
died, and then
because
you
then
had
you had him face Jey Uso, then you
yeah,
had Seth Rollins give a DQ win to Cesaro because he said that storyline's not well, basically our
yeah, it's
feud's
not
not
over.
over.
Yeah,
Then you had Cesaro and Daniel Bryan this week come out. I think the first half hour you had Daniel Bryan and Cesaro in the ring.
yes,
You
correct.
had Seth Rollins and Jey Uso come out to obviously have some promo time with them, and then you had them have a match with them. Then after the match, you had Daniel Bryan and Cesaro yet again in the ring calling out Roman Reigns. But obviously, we know Roman Reigns isn't going to come out on your time. He's going to come out on his own time because he is the head of the table and he is our tribal chief.
You know what? What's going to happen to your?
By the way,
I tell
Shaz,
you what's. I tell you what's
that
going to
was
happen
all
to your
sarcasm.
tribal.
By the way, Shaz, that was all sarcasm. Okay.
No, I understand, but I tell you what's going to happen to your tribal chief. Your tribal chief is going to get betrayed from within, and your boy Jay Uso is going to take
Bro,
his.
you've been saying this since January. I'm sure
Okay, hold on.
you've been saying this to me since January. Obviously, not on here because we didn't start this until like not December, till March. But you've
Yeah,
been saying that to me for months and months, even before we started this.
but hold on. To justify my point, that has to be a better storyline than what we're watching right now.
Of course,
That
it
has,
is. I would love to see Jey Uso turn on Roman Reigns, and then Jimmy Uso come out as well, and then both of them super kick the crap out of Roman Reigns. And then at least Jey Uso gets another title shot, which I think he deserves.
yeah,
He's been given an opportunity to be the right hand man to Roman Reigns, and he's running with it. He's been having some of his best matches, singles matches I've seen him have against Kevin Owens, against Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro. And he deserves a push, at least another title opportunity against Roman Reigns. But I don't see it happening. What I see happening is the same as what happened with the Hurt Business. He's going to let Roman Reigns down, and Roman Reigns isn't going to like it at some point, and then he's just going to say, "I'm done with you. I'm actually done with you now, cuz you've let me down too many times. I'm done with you." And then Jey Uso is going to either get pushed down to an opener, or he's going to be jobbing to people until Jimmy Uso comes back, and then he's just going to be chucked into the tag team division, which is where he's good at as well. And then they're probably going to get a push to the tag team titles, which I'd love to see Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso win those tag team titles, whether it's on Raw, whether it's on SmackDown, or whether even if it's on NXT. I would love to see the Usos take on some of the tag teams in NXT, like Imperium, High Rise, even MSK, the current champions.
Yeah.
And who else is there? There's other tag teams like the Grizzled Young Veterans. What's the tag team called that's with Santos Escobar? I can't even remember.
Oh, I know what you mean, but I can't remember. Never
Something Del Fantasma. I can't remember the start of it. But there's some really good tag teams coming through in NXT right now, and I'd love to see the Usos take on them. Just speaking about Cesaro, because the thing is still down there about Cesaro. If they're going to leave Cesaro in the mid card, they've got Sheamus in the mid card as well, over on Raw. Put them back together as a tag team, but then we'll have the bar back as a tag team, which I absolutely loved it. They were being pushed, and they were getting, they were actually tag team champions, and I'd love to see them, team up again because they were a good tag team. They actually got put together because of Mick Foley, if you remember. They had a best of 7 series match against each other, singles feud, and they beat the crap out of each other that much that Mick Foley just chucked them together as a tag team, and they ran with it.
I don't even know why they
smashed that out the park.
I don't even know why they split them up. It doesn't make sense.
Sheamus got injured, or Cesaro got injured, and the other, I can't remember who got injured out of the two. Maybe I think it was Sheamus. I believe got injured, and then Cesaro got injured. I don't even know. One of them got injured. The other got left in singles. When the other came back, they just didn't put them back together. I think by the time Sheamus came back, I think from injury, Cesaro was teaming with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes, I remember.
So Sheamus just got left on his own, and then obviously Shinsuke and Cesaro have split, and now everyone's just it's sort of a big mess. But the last little thing that Shaz wanted to bring up here is this little thing that I'm going to pop up down below. WWE of Creative, what are you playing at? I'm going to let Shaz talk about this first before I go into it.
I'm just going to sum it up, and I did touch upon this in the previous topic that me and Shaz were talking about. I mean, I've been watching WWE since I was, God knows how long, since I was 9, 10 years old, or maybe even younger. And I was even watching some classic matches. So I was watching the segment where The Rock and Austin pranked the McMahon family. Now, you might ask why I bring that up. I bring it up simply because it's innovative, it's creative. Okay, take aside PG content if you like. It was real. So what we're watching,
hang on, bro.
What we're watching.
Another thing before we go on, before I forget about the whole thing you just mentioned about The Rock and Austin. Yeah. Back in the Attitude Era, the promos that these people were having were very spontaneous. They weren't given scripts. They weren't saying this is what you go out and say. You need to say it word for word. They were out there, and then they were just bouncing off each other.
Yeah,
and it looked like they were having fun, and it looked real because it was what they were saying was like spur of the moment, off the top. So and some of the moments that created were some of the legendary moments. Like you had The Rock in the ring, and you had Chris Jericho debut, against The Rock on his first night back in, I believe it was '99, when he first came over to WWE. That was all off the top. Them two going back and forth, and that's one of the most iconic moments in history of WWE. Jericho debuting, and to see where Jericho is now, he's reinvented himself over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's still now over in AEW.
I'm glad Chaz touched upon it, because this is what I wanted to talk about here. So we've given you a couple of examples from the Attitude Era. Now, if you compare that with what we're watching right now, it's so badly scripted. You can tell they're reading off a piece of paper, because nothing. I mean, okay, Roman Reigns being put with Paul Heyman works because it helps his character to some extent. It's helping him, and he's authentic. But the rest of it just looks so poorly scripted.
Mm-hmm.
There's no enjoyment in watching it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I enjoy clicking through the results, and if something odd will happen, then fair enough.
You'll
Like
go watch it.
I know that Charlotte Flair will come back, and then she's dropping pipe bombs right now, which is good. But this is the problem.
Bro, I'm gonna give you a challenge, bro. At the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a challenge. But when we get to the end of the video, I'll let you know what it is, bro. I'll let you know what it is.
All right, cool.
Okay, but yeah, I don't think I mean I could say so much more on this topic of Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and all this stuff, but and Cesaro. But I think I've said enough in this video. I've said what I wanted to say, but so I'm gonna leave it there, Shaz. I don't want to take up too much more of people's times on this video because I'll be here forever ranting.
No worries, but as always, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. As always, without your feedback and your support, we wouldn't be where we are today. So until next time, have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.
Before you go, Shaz, your challenge is to watch at least one episode of AEW Dynamite. You pick any episode you want and watch it and compare it to that same week of Raw and SmackDown. So let's say you watch this week's AEW Dynamite that's just been on, right? And then compare it to the Raw and SmackDown that's been on this week. Let's forget about NXT because we actually like NXT.
Yeah.
We you know it's very entertaining watching NXT. But your challenge is just pick this week's episode. You've watched Raw and SmackDown. You've watched NXT. Now go watch a proper wrestling show. This week's AEW was absolutely brilliant. You go watch it. You go watch it, bro, and we'll do a video on it next after you've watched it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe some other time. Take an hour or two out, watch AEW Dynamite, bro, and let me know what you think on the next video. Don't even ring me and tell me what you thought of it. We'll just come on and do a video, and you can let everybody know what you thought of AEW's episode that you watched. How's that for a challenge?
Challenge accepted, bro. Done.
Boom. Challenge accepted. So the next time we're on a WWE show or a wrestling show now, we're going to be talking about what you thought of AEW. Now, you've missed a lot in AEW since they've started about a year or so ago. So maybe if you want, watch the first ever episode of AEW Dynamite.
Done.
If you want to watch the first ever episode and compare it to that same week in WWE, I guarantee you will prefer AEW Dynamite over Raw and SmackDown. Every single week I've watched AEW, I have preferred it over Raw and SmackDown. NXT sometimes does tip it that I'll prefer NXT over AEW. To me, it's a toss up between AEW and NXT every week. But now NXT is on Tuesday and AEW still is on Wednesday. There's no competition between them.
Yeah,
and WWE did that for a reason, and I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But for now, I'm gonna leave it there. Getting very close to the time to open our fast, so I'm gonna go get ready for that. But until the next video, I'll see you all next time and stay safe.
See you guys.